Kaylah Oniwo is one of the most recognizable voices on Nigerian radio. For over a decade, she shaped how pop culture sounded. Catwalk with Kayla blurred the lines between radio and fashion long before influencers was even a thing. But her story didn't begin in media. She studied banking and finance, yet somehow found herself behind a mic, demanding her slot, rewriting what was possible. Over a decade later, she left the comfort of that identity to build something new, stepping fully into life as an entrepreneur. One thing that struck me in our conversation is how little we sometimes know about the people we think we already know. Kayla is a friend, yet I learned so many new things about her, about courage, about self-belief, and knowing when to move on. I hope as you listen, you take away the same message I did, to be audacious, to stay free, and to keep evolving, even when you feel safe. I think that when a lot of people look at creatives, they see free spirits, they see a life full of freedom, and they just think that, we just live in this cloud era. But at the end of the day, if you are creative, you realize that it comes with a lot, that freedom comes at a price. And we have a lot of self-doubt, we have a lot of anxiety, we have a lot of fear. And I think there are people that navigate the creative journey so gracefully that you don't get to see all of those other stuff, but that doesn't mean they don't deal with it, but you don't necessarily see it. And somebody who I think has had a really incredible creative career is my co-wolf today, Kayla. Hi, girl. She's my co-wolf and friend. And I'm so excited to have you on the pod.
I'm so gassed. And I'm so glad we're doing this.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm tired, but I'm good.
Why are you tired, Kay?
I drank champagne last night. I had a long day yesterday, and then I ended it off with about a few glasses of champagne. So then
it was nice and cold.
And I was like, and it was nice, cold champagne. Normally, if someone brings me a bottle of champagne, it's it's not cold. You just keep it in what do you call that? Your bar, your mini bar. But this one came straight off the rocks. I was like, yeah, open it.
Open it. Let's go.
But even though I'm tired, I'm super excited to go. So that's a good truth about life. Sometimes you do stuff tired, but you do it anyway.
Preach. Okay, girl. And I feel like this feels really natural because we're on my couch, but we've been on my couch.
This couch before, girl.
A couple of times. We kicking, talking.
So this is nice. It's just that we have the mics and we have the lights and the camera.
Exactly. So, and you're no stranger to cameras and lights.
No,
okay, girl. So I feel like a lot of people know you as a radio personality, or that's probably where they first encountered.
The entry.
Right, the entry.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know anything pre-radio.
Right?
I have no context.
That is true, Nicole. Yeah. Because we met when I was already working at the radio station.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
So we met for me.
Yeah.
Meeting you, you were fully in your creative energy.
Yeah.
You were a creative professional.
Yes.
I met you doing
content,
and
radio, hosting, all of those
exactly.
things. Yes.
So you were already established.
Yeah.
And that was, I don't know, 20...
Probably 2012. And it was just little 2 years because I got into radio in 2010.
Oh, really?
So it was, because I remember you even wrote me, Nicole wrote you wrote a proposal for me. You helped me. I don't know what I was pitching for.
Okay.
You did a whole pitch deck for me. Do you remember this? I will look for it.
Really?
Crazy. It probably was 2012.
Oh, really?
It can't be anything later.
I don't remember that.
But you did a whole presentation for me. You helped me for my business or something. I'll look for it and I'll
I remember
share with you.
having
a conversation.
Being at a restaurant with you near Cool-fm.
Yeah.
There was this restaurant.
Yeah. Cafe Royale.
Cafe Royale. I remember.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah, and I remember a hair business.
Yes, you did something for me for that. And I don't know what I was looking for. Why is this thing on? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I was looking for. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at that. And that was what, 2012? That was
it definitely was 2012 or 2013.
Yeah.
One of those years.
2013.
Definitely not anything funny on that.
Wow. That's crazy. Look at how long.
Look at that.
But then we haven't been friends we've been friends, but I feel like we just got close in recent years.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Recently, a couple of, just like a few years.
Yeah.
Please, we've been friends for a long time.
Like, what am I actually talking about? But yeah, so pre-radio, can you just tell, like, what did that look like? How did you get to the radio?
Wow, you don't know this story?
At all.
That's wild. Oh my goodness. So I grew up in my dad worked my dad was in the Navy, and in the Navy what he was doing, because I would imagine people would think if you work at the Navy you'd be at sea or you'd be fine. My dad he studied music, and he was the head of the Nigerian naval band.
Oh my
so I grew up in the midst of all musical instruments in a room at home. I'm talking the saxophone, the violin, the trombone, drums, the piano.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
My dad studied music in London.
Wow.
Like he went to, I think, the Royal Academy of Music or something like that. I don't remember. I have this frame. And then I grew up in a family that just loved music. My parents used to host the coolest house parties. Like,
oh, cool.
They used to host house parties and have records and have friends come over. My mom would cook up a storm, and we'll be watching, like their friends would turn up all night and play Shina Peters and all of these crazy things.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
It doesn't fall far from the tree. My mom was a fashion designer. So there was that thing that, and there was this creative freedom at home to just be, so the creativity was right there, seeing my dad compose songs or put his band together to go perform at different places. So my love for radio just started, like I was always listening to radio and always listening to music. I see my mom cutting her patterns and she's listening to Donna Summer and all of these things, and you just hear her. And so I really just got very interested in music and listening to radio. Wow. So I started listening to radio a lot, just from morning to night, just listening. And, we were, I don't want to know, I'm still like 16, but kind of in our era when I was 16, this is like 3 years ago. We had this thing where you would want to listen to the lyrics and you kind of like need to stop the tape. I don't know if you did that. Okay. And then you write down the lyrics, then you listen again, you record it. So, those, because you want to sing and sing along. It's not this one now that you just open your phone and you're just singing. So it was that sort of experience that I had. So I didn't know I was going to work on the radio. So I wanted to be an accountant anyway. My dad's sister was an accountant, and she used to say to me, "You're going to be an accountant." So I enrolled to study accountancy, but I couldn't get it. So I got banking and finance. So I studied banking and finance. When I was at uni, it just turned out that I was cool, and people would always say to me that, come and join the social, or if there's anything to talk about, like come and talk about it, So I eventually started doing those little things like, presenting awards if we had like all of those stuff. And then sometimes I would just, to lighten up the mood when we're in the room, I could just act like I'm a radio presenter. Everybody, come around. Like, it's DJ Wacky Doopy Doo. Then I would like play music. Then everyone would say, so let me tell you something. Like I was acting like a radio host, but I wasn't. And somehow I just said, you know what, I want to do this. And then when I was studying banking, when we were almost getting out, they had said to me that our teachers had said that it was a time we're having the banking industry was having, I don't know what that thing was, when there was, I think I even wrote about it in my project. When banks were meant to have a minimum a capital base, I can't remember, like a 25 billion naira something, I don't know. And our teachers would just tease and say that when you come out, and they looked at me and like, say, you be a marketer because you have to go and raise money for the bank. And I just felt, no, I don't want to do that. But somehow, I don't know, I just woke up one day and just said, you know what, I'm going to try this. I want to be on the radio. No formal experience, nothing. I just said, I feel like people say, you're so fun. You'll be fun on the radio. So I started trying to get on as soon as I finished uni and did my youth service. I started, even in my youth service, I went into one radio station there and just told them, I think I can do a show for you guys. And I did it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I started auditioning.
So you literally just went to the station and said, I think I can.
Yes, I was like, hi. I used to listen to the station when I was serving, and I would be like, I like this one. Amongst all the radio stations, I was like, this one is the cool one. So I went there, I went to look for the head. And see, there's something about being audacious.
Yes.
And I ask myself now, now after so many years, can I be as audacious as I used to be? I don't think I'm as audacious as I am, but I'm trying to get that mojo back. I was mad audacious when I was growing up. I went to the radio station, and I asked to see the head.
Wow.
And they said, "Who are you? Like, what do you think you are coming here to say? You want to pass all the?" So I said, "I want to see your boss because I have something to propose to him." This time I didn't even know what proposal was. I just went, and they said, so I'm sure they went up, and he said, who is this person? Okay, send the person. I was like, "Hi, I'm Kayla. I'm doing my youth service. I listen to your station. I think it's good, but I think that I can also add some. I have this crazy idea that I think would be so fun. I know all the trending music. I feel like we can incorporate that into that, and And they said, okay, give her 30 minutes. So I'll come and I'll do 30 minutes on the radio.
I love that.
I'll go to
I love that. And you know why? Because I think so many times we overthink things. And I think that audacity that you had when you were younger came from like a childish, like innocence. Like, oh, I can do it. Oh, I can propose something. Let me speak to the head. But like the older we get, the more we were in our heads a lot. So we count ourselves out before we even ask the question. So our audacity gets less and less and less. But there's something bold about like just going and like, because people think that people are just going to see your value. That happens sometimes, but not all the time.
No.
Sometimes you have to actually express yourself.
Yeah, you have to open your mouth.
And I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we were talking about throat chakras.
I kind of know it's like different parts of your body where like emotions are stored. So that's why you have your throat chakra, your heart chakra, your I don't know the rest. I think there is that one. There's your power. You eliminate your power. I'm kidding. Let's be focused.
Talk about that.
Offline. Okay.
Yeah, but there is something about a lot of creatives and people in general, but we're speaking about creatives. Their throat chakras are closed. So you're not able to ask for what you want. You're not able to say, what you can offer. Because you're scared. And like I think like a lot of people get into these emotions and they don't actually realize that they're not able to be audacious because they literally can't speak. So it's something held them back, right? There's something maybe in your childhood or like a criticism. I know a lot of writers who maybe got feedback that just immediately closed their throat chakras or immediately made them feel like they're not able to fail in public or they're not able to not be, if it's not perfect, then I'm not going to show it. And I think that's just really, I think it's something that you have to protect and you have to be like mindful of as a creative, and understanding like if you want something, go and get it.
Just go. And regardless of what you're going to meet, whether it's a yes or a no, either way it's fine.
You said something about your parents and having that creative freedom early, right? Do you think like that is why that is where your audacity came from?
Yes.
Right.
So I'm a millennial baby, and even though my parents gave up me creative freedom, they also there was a lot of restriction as well. So I had a bit of both because gosh, this question is so crazy because it's opened the dynamics of why I'm the way I am and how my career has just the trajectory of my career. There was like don't, but also there was like do, and that came from my mom was stricter, my dad was more flexible.
Okay.
So when there's like push from my dad, there's like a pullback from my mom, or there was rarely ever a pullback from my dad. My dad was go, but my mom, it was there. So there was an imbalance.
What was her?
It was just really just like, my mom was she was the African mother that believed that, doctor, lawyer, accountant, something. My dad was more of and funny enough, my mom she's a fashion designer, but she still, I think a part of her wanted me to be something else. She never really said that, but I kind of know that because there were like limitations when maybe if I said I wanted to go for auditions or whatever, she'd be like, are you not going to go and do what's the other ones that you do when you're trying to get into the bank, all those examinations or whatever. But my dad was like, let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he had such an unconventional job.
Just like go for it.
Yeah, but in a strict environment.
Yes. Yes.
And I think what's so cool, just to go back to steal your dad really quickly, is like I love the idea of like hearing about jobs that you never knew existed.
Yes.
Like head of music of a naval band?
Yes.
What?
Because people were doing different things in the Navy, but my dad was doing music.
But that's amazing.
It is, yeah.
And I think like that's a testament to creativity because
Yes.
like, if you don't know, like how can you even dream?
Yes.
Right? How can you even, but if you grow up in an environment where there's an unconventional job, then it makes you kind of realize.
Yes.
Like for me, I didn't know that advertising existed until I watched Mad Men.
Oh, really?
TV show.
Are you serious?
And I was like, oh, there's people that create ads for their job.
Yeah.
I can do that. Do you know what I mean? It's like until you see,
yes.
you don't know.
Yes.
You don't,
oh my God, there's so much to learn in this world.
Yeah, there's so much to learn. There's so many people's experiences that can make you, that can open the door for you. Yeah. And that can make you think, oh, I can do that, you know?
Did you have creative freedom?
I had creative freedom for sure. Yeah. I did. But I had creative freedom in like, everybody knew, oh, I can write, and like I liked writing all these stories, and like I used to perform like dialogue for movies for guests.
Oh,
yeah, when they would come and visit.
No, stop, really?
I had a couple of movies that I had.
That is so cool.
So Eve's Bayou. I don't know if you ever saw it.
No.
Samuel L. Jackson, Megan Good. She was like 12 years old. Yeah. She was 12 years old, and she was she was in love with her dad. It was very strange. She had a complication in love with him. She you know how little girls love their fathers, and then she was just confused. Yeah. But anyway, there's a whole dialogue scene of this woman who has had many, many husbands. Right? Mm-hmm. So she had like 4 husbands. So her niece was like, the woman was like this strange, like she was some kind of witch or some kind of like voodoo. Yeah. I don't know why I was watching this as a child. But she had all these husbands, but they were all dead. Mm-hmm. So her niece was like, tell me about your husbands. So then the woman responded in this long monologue about these 3-4 husbands of hers, and how they died, and just their love story as well. But it was very dramatic, very African American, very tell me about Maynard. So I would do it when guests come over. I would be like, do you want to hear Eve's Bayou? And they're like, sure. And I would perform the whole thing. So cool. And nobody ever told me, hey, stop that. You know what I mean? So I guess yes, I did have creative freedom in terms of expression. Yes. But I didn't have creative freedom in terms of reference. Because my father, engineer, mother, pharmacist.
Okay, unlike me, who's
sisters.
Okay, got it.
So I didn't grow up in a creative environment.
Oh, that's crazy.
So it was just like me just vibing.
So where did you pick this
on
up
my
from?
own J's. To be honest, my dad is like, he writes, but not as a writer. Yeah. Like he'll write you an email that you'll be like, man, you need to publish this in the New York Times. My dad used to write right? But not a writer. Do you get what I mean? But I think I got my like storytelling from him and stuff. When he tells stories, it's very much, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Would you say that like leaving, so as a lone wolf, right? Yeah. First of all, what did you think of like when you heard the concept of lone wolf?
I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was a very, very interesting breakdown of processes. It made me think a lot about my journey. And you know, this is interesting because anytime anyone calls me to talk, I don't really remember a lot of things. My sister, shout out to my sister, she has a, what do you call that memory? Photographic memory. So anything I don't remember, I would just call her and say, was there a time? Then she'd be like, oh yeah. And she would tell me, she'd give me a blow-by-blow account of it. So it got to even a point is my friends, if they ask me what do I do for a living, it's people that would tell people what I do because I don't even remember. If you know how people say I was the first to do this, I don't really know anything. I'm just going like that, you know. So this made me think about my journey, and I was like, oh yeah, I did that. Yeah, so that's what I loved about it. I loved the terminologies that you used in them. It makes it very different and it makes it very interesting. And it doesn't feel podcasty.
Doesn't feel because I think it's beyond a podcast, right? It's a philosophy. Yeah. And it's just this idea that like as lone wolves, we have left the pack. Yes. We have created our own journey. Yes. And nobody could have told us where to go. Yes. Right? And we didn't even know where we were going when we started. Right? Yeah. So from you going to that, being audacious, going to that radio station and pitching yourself to now owning your own business, being in the candle business, being a host, being a travel influencer, being a baddie.
Yes.
You couldn't have navigated or you couldn't have planned that.
Yes.
It's your own unique path, your own unique identity.
Yeah.
So like, do you have a moment like leaving the pack? What was your pack? Like, what was it? Was it banking? Like
no, I would say my pack was when I was already a radio host.
That was the pack.
That was the pack. That's the honest truth, because I was already doing something, but I needed to, I felt alone. Then I needed to find myself in that space. So it's like, the way I see it is like, you're already doing something. It's like you're a writer, you're already writing, but you are not, you still haven't, you're still alone. Until you kind of, so for me, it was like, there were a lot of factors that made me feel alone. I didn't realize that though. But there were things that were happening. Like a lot of radio presenters were coming, and I got into radio at the era when we had the likes of the incredible late Dan Foster, who came from America to speaking American English on the radio. We had a lady called Tulu. She was on Cool-fm as well. And everybody was just yeah, oh, that's really cool. And this is me, a Nigerian, born, lived, bred, schooled in Nigeria, homegrown talent that had to fight for her life on the radio. So a lot of presenters were coming from the diaspora, and they were hiring them fast. And that was the kind of sound that we're getting at the time. So it could be quite intimidating. In fact, I remember whenever I tell my story of how I got my job at Cool-fm, I also had that audacious thing going to different radio stations. However, I said to myself that I wanted to work at Cool-fm. I said, this is where I want to work, because I really enjoyed them. I thought all their presenters were so fun and I felt that they matched my personality. So I remember going for auditions, and I would just walk in there. I would look and I would just walk in there and say, I want to be a radio presenter. How do people do it here? You have to audition. And what audition meant was sitting down from morning till night and probably not getting called in, and then saying you have to come the next day. I would come to Cool-fm in the morning when the bus is dropping the staff, and I would leave when the staff is getting on the bus going.
Just waiting.
Just waiting and hoping that they will call me in. I didn't know anybody.
Wow.
So I was doing that, and my dad was giving me money to go to take the cabs to get there. So even getting there, I remember one time there was now an actual audition proper, where we had a couple of people, and I remember just sitting there, and everybody was just like, "Oh, yeah, when you pick the part,
when you
say, I don't know, they're just making, so yeah, oh my God." I said, "Hey, Kayla, how will you come and talk here? We don't take you." I was so like, just thinking, is there anybody that is speaking English like me over here? Everybody was just so fancy, and their English was so impeccable. And I remember going in for my audition, and they will give you like it was a new script to read. I'll just take my script and I'll read it,
And you never thought, oh, let me add some.
It's just how I spoke. People even used to ask me if I lived abroad. It's quite funny, but also I grew up in school. I had like classmates that lived abroad or schooled abroad or foreigners or whatever. So it was just whatever, maybe childhood, whatever. I don't know. But anyway, I went there with my Nigerian accent too, and I remember making it to the next stage. So you make it to several stages. And I made it to one of the stages, and then they didn't take me. There was a particular girl that had this accent that I kept meeting. I would see her there. I say, hey, she became my competitor. As the numbers were reducing, when we show up at this, I would just say, "Hi, how's it going?" I say, "My dear, it's going no," but we'll get there, So I remember. I'm trying to remember two stories, because I remember that getting on Cool-fm. I don't remember if it was. I eventually got in. I don't know. Am I getting old? But I remember that they finally took me, and they didn't take that girl, because we exchanged numbers, and she eventually called me to say. In fact, she called me and said, "Hey, did you get a call?" And me, I'd already gotten the call, so I was like, Yeah. She was like, "They haven't called me." I said, "They don't want you." Okay, like don't be. But I was like, "They took me,"
Do you know where she is now?
No, we lost touch. But eventually it took me. But I remember that I was trying to get in. I don't know what happened, but I got a job or whatever, another job, and I met someone whom I would never ever mention because she was so mean. She was a radio presenter at the time.
Is she somebody now?
Absolutely not. Of course, she wouldn't be anything.
Wow.
She was such a mean person.
Yeah.
She can't be anything. I
But
don't know
mean
where
people
she is.
win in this world.
I beg, this
The
one
world
no
is
win.
fallen.
And he sweet me die. She don't win. So, she did not win. She was so mean.
Wow.
That was a rhyme. No, what happened was where I was working, she came there and I was like, you know how you see someone that you really, I used to listen to her and I was like, hey, I've always wanted to be a radio presenter. Da, 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 da. And she was like, oh yeah, okay. I was like, can I have your details? Maybe if there's anything I can. She said, okay. I don't know if she gave me or she gave me. I don't remember. I know we had a good conversation, and I had met another guy who used to work there. I can call that one because that one was cool. He was also mean, but it was cool. Redman. He's known as Redman. And I remember meeting him at a bar belonging to one of my friends, and I was telling him I wanted to be a radio presenter, and he was like, okay, you should come for the audition and whatever. So I had to audition all over again. I don't know what happened at that time with that other girl, whether they didn't take me or they took me and said I should come back. I don't even remember what the story was. So I left it and went and started doing a normal job. Then I started trying again. And I remember coming for the audition, and it happened at a time that I was just under a lot of pressure. Like, I was so scared, that finally here. And I remember that morning I was waiting I left the Cool-fm had different stages, in one room to another room. So I was at that third room, and this girl walked in. So when she walked by, I was like, hi, like, I'm the lady from this. And she looked at me and said, you made, like, almost like you made it in here. And I was like, yes, I have my audition today. She said, good luck if you ever make it through. Wow. Bro. And I was going through I was so anxious. So she added to the anxiety. Like, she walked, I have a very graphic, and I'd never remember anything, but I remember this one. She even sauntered like this. I went up the staircase, like, I said, so my husband, she said, who and who will be? He said, I hope you make it through, because these people are brutal, that kind of thing. So my heart was now racing. So when the people were going and coming, I said, Kayla, me too. I now went inside this thing. When I sat down, they said, I remember everyone, including that red man, he was there, and they said to me, I remember they said to me, so you want to be a radio presenter? I said, yeah. I said, so, okay, act like you're a radio presenter, like Manny does the morning show. So you're doing the morning show. So act like I said, hey, it's the cool station 96.9 Cool FM. It's a good morning. My name is Kay. As I just said, my name is Kayla. The red man just did like this. As he did that like this, yes. I just broke down.
Why did he do that?
Bro, I don't know.
You started crying there?
Bro, 6 years old. I was bawling because I just lost, I told you I was already tense. Then I finally came in, I got some courage, because when I think I said my name, they said, one of them said, where are you from? There was a little bit of like, what do you call that thing, breaking the ice. So I was already feeling confident. And as I present, so I was now presenting. And then as I was just presenting, I was looking at their faces, and this one just did like this. As if another idiot has come here. Wow. So I just lost confidence, and I just broke down. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? Take it easy, guys. So as they say, take it easy, get yourself together. I was just like, I failed. They just said, okay, you might. And I said, okay, you know what's gonna happen? Thank you so much, Kayla. If we call you back, then it means that we want you. If we don't call you back, well, this is why I left. I remember leaving, and I went to Chocolate Royale to buy ice cream, and I told Joe, and he said, and I saw the red man, and I said to him that, why did you shake your head like that? He was like, I don't know. Come, let me buy you ice cream. If they call you, like, look, Nigerians are just, why are they wicked? So I remember leaving, and I actually did get a call, but it happened that I was on a job, and I had a delivery to make. God, my journey into radio was just chaos, and I couldn't go for it because if I had a car to deliver to my clients, and if my boss wasn't around, and I couldn't sneak out to go, and because I snuck out to do those interviews and whatever, and the auditions. That's why I missed it. So
while you were auditioning, you had a job? I
had a job. I was working in a luxury clothing store at the time. Oh. Yes, and that's where I met that wicked woman. Yeah, she came in with one wicked man. Okay. I'm lying. So I don't know if the man was wicked. But as long as anything around that woman is wicked.
But I definitely think that in general, we need to call out when people are bullies, when people are incompetent, when people are not, because at the end of the day, like, people just get away with murder. Yeah. And that's not cool. Yeah, you were talking to me about, being
how I found my pack, or how I
how you left the pack.
How I left the pack.
Yes.
Yeah. So the pressure was so much from like just seeing all these people getting hired because of how they sounded, and for us who were homegrown talent, it just felt like we didn't have a place. One of my colleagues then, who's one of my best friends now, used to put a lot of pressure on me about how I sounded, and he used to compare as well. He used to say, like, look at this person, X person, look at how they were calling them for jobs. They were getting jobs ahead of us. You know, they had passports, so they were able to travel easier. We like green passports, can't get visa to travel. So there were just a lot of things. And there was also an association with my name. It was like Kayla of Cool-fm, Kayla Cool-fm. And I just needed to find myself, to find a name for myself as my brand began to grow. So one of the things I did was that I was privately training. So because I didn't have a formal training in broadcasting or broadcast journalism, radio was more about like your personality. You know, if you had a personality and you spoke well, you could get on the radio, and you were educated enough to know right from wrong. So when I was getting a lot of complaints from my colleague and a lot of comparisons and just always feeling just not adequate or not good enough, I was like, maybe let me go and check if there's a school that, you know, offers this. And the school at the time was I don't even know, is it Nigerian Broadcasting? I don't know what it was. NUJ, I don't know what it's called now. I don't remember. But it just seemed like the people that were coming out of there were not quality presenters. And quote me, I might be wrong, but it just didn't feel like, nobody ever talked about it like it was a place to go and train. So I found a school called Lufodo. It's owned by the veterans, Joke Silva and her husband, Olu Jacobs. They had the school. It was like a academy that trained people, but I didn't see quite like, there was some like speaking in there, but not but it wasn't like but there was like dancing and all these things. So I just enrolled for it. I struggled to pay for it, and I went, and the timing was also clashing. I would go to school in the morning and then still go to the radio station. And I remember going for a few classes, and I'm like, when are they going to call me and say I should come and present? Kini dancing, you'll be dancing for stage, acting for stage. I was acting, I was doing stage. There was nothing that had to do with sit down like this and okay, Kayla present. So I was getting frustrated. I'll come, they'll say we are doing this scene. Like which scene? You know. So and I was under so much pressure. I would do that, still prep, go on radio, come back. But guess what had happened? What? One day. This is the best part of my journey. That's how I knew I'd, found myself. Freeze and I had just finished our show. I was co-hosting with Freeze at the time. Freeze and I, Daddy Freeze, the famous naughty Daddy Freeze, who's now one of my best friends, but was a thorn in my flesh at the early stages of my career. We had just done a break on air. And then as soon as we came off, just like we are, we did this banter. And he came up and he was like, Kayla, wow, that break was fantastic. For Freeze to say that. He said, wait. What just happened here? Kayla, wait. But he didn't know I was going to school. So also, I didn't know the school was working because I was dancing and acting. I was reading speeches and all this nonsense. I was calling it nonsense at the time. And Freeze was just saying, this is... So he said, there's mad improvement.
Wow. Sorry, I just want to... there's something about creativity that multiplies.
Yes.
So like, it doesn't matter if you are listening to music or if you're writing a song or if you are dancing or if you are whatever, painting, sculpting. There is something about it that like activates everything. And you just have like newer perspectives. You're more animated.
Yes.
So in the thing that you thought that,
I was just complaining like... They're not asking me to come and present.
Manifested in
everything was working with like how I was more confident in presenting. And that's one thing I would like to say. Like sometimes you might think that the enemy is the wicked person. I mean, if somebody is not like wicked, but just like telling you you're not good enough and all of these things, sometimes there's a silver lining in it. Maybe I was good, but I wasn't great. So it took me from good to great, or took me from great to greater.
Right.
That's what I saw that.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that, like, pursuit, because you were already in the thing.
I was already doing
but
well.
But then you're like, I want more.
Yes. I wanted to be...
I want to be better.
And I wanted to be better with my Nigerian self, like my...
authentic
my
self.
homegrown talent. Like, let them say Kayla, who schooled, who was born. I wasn't born in the UK. I never lived in the UK. I never been, is sitting down and taking space with people who had advantage. More advantage, because they were preferable, they were the preferred choice over us. And I'm grateful to even like the people who hired me at Cool. Like, they saw, even I found out later on that N6, who I eventually worked with and became my colleague, said he was also on that panel, and he was like, I just like this girl because she sounds like, she sounds real. You know,
sounds like
you should take her. Yeah, she sounds, so.
And you were at Cool for 10 years?
11.
11 years.
I was there for 11 years, yeah.
That's a long time.
That was a long time. And I was killing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, like, I want to know, take me to the exact moment, or maybe not exact moment, but like the time, the season, where, because I know that's how it feels. It always feels like a stirring.
Yes.
Like something is not right anymore, or it's time to move. What was that whole mental experience for you?
Yeah. I think after a few years on the radio, in 2 years after, I won, and it's been my only award I've won ever in my career. I want to also let people know that it's okay. Yeah, that it's a very interesting journey, and I love my journey because I've won only one award, and I won Best On Air Personality 2 years after I was on the radio. Best On Air Female Personality, whatever. And after I won that, I still was going on my career, and then one big moment for me was when I was having this thing like, okay, what more? People are just saying Kayla of Cool-fm. Like, I want to be something beyond that. So I remember speaking to somebody I was seeing at the time, and he was just like, you have so many creative talents, like, you should explore them. Like, when you're on the radio, like, think of other things that you can talk about. What do you like? I said, I like fashion, but how am I going to talk about fashion on the radio though? Like, Freeze and I were hosting Drive Time Radio. We're talking about things that are happening. And I just wanted to have a moment to myself that I could also express myself, because we're bantering a lot. But I think my personality was lost in that, because Freeze is a very strong personality, can talk for Africa. So even sometimes he will talk, then I will not have anything to say. Like, Freeze used to say what he wants to say and what is in my head. So when it's now my turn, I'll now be looking, don't quiet, because Freeze had already said my own opinion and his opinion. And I remember saying, okay, so I sat down and this is something that people could learn, which is get up and think. So I sat down and I said, okay, I want to do a fashion show on the fashion.
Catwalk with Kayla.
Yes, girl, I was like, what can I do? So now that's why I said your show made me think, because now, how people say I was the first. It made me realize that I was the first to have a lifestyle, like a successful, trending lifestyle show on the radio that turned out to become something crazy. So I proposed it to Freeze, and I thought he was going to say no. And I was like, can I have 15 minutes to myself? That I want to just be the one just talking and talking. And he was like, what do you want to talk about? Fashion? Is it feasible? But okay, let me see. So Freeze was amazing. He said, go for it, but you have to talk to management. So I talked to management. That one was like, how do you want to, fashion is visual. What do you want to be saying? How will people see it? I was like, well, then Twitter just started. I was like, what I could do is that what I'm talking about, I would have prepared the tweets and put the visuals. So as I'm talking on the radio, I'll be like, so if you want to see how to pair your white jeans with this, and there's a picture I have on Twitter, go to at Cool-fm Nigeria, and so that was how we did 15 minutes. 15 minutes became 30. 30 became 45.
Wow.
Then sponsorship started coming like crazy. Anybody that wanted to do anything that had to do with beauty, fashion, lifestyle, they needed to talk about it. Catwalk with Kayla, and Kayla's show had to be the one. And it was on prime time. It was 5 to 6 eventually. Started at 5 to 5:15, 5:30. In fact, it became Freeze's holiday. Freeze was Freeze, when it's to 5, he said, Thursday, Kayla, I'm taking a break for 1 hour, And this is so crazy. Like, it was so successful. And I started making money. And another good highlight was when people, agencies, so agencies will call and say, oh, we have this brand that wants to come and talk about XYZ. So let's say Kale, let me use my brand. Kale by Kayla wants to come and talk about their candles on Catwalk with Kayla. So who do we talk to? Oh, we'll talk to Kayla. So Kayla will, then Kale by Kayla is hosting an event. They want to do a lifestyle event. Who will be the perfect host? Kayla. Oh, Kale by Kayla needs to be talked about on social media. Who will be the right fit? She's on the radio versus she can. I remember two times throughout my career, and 2 agencies. Some brands, they use different agencies. So I was hired for one brand by 3 different agencies. It's so crazy that they didn't even know that they had me talk about it on the radio. They had me host the event, and they also paid me to influence.
Wow.
So I came, as the host, I came and took picture like, hi, I'm now at this event. Then I posted on the Instagram. Then I now came, and then I said, good evening. Wait, you're the host.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I'd done all of that, at a point, I started to feel like, after I'd done that, after a while, I started to feel like, wait, I want more. Like there's something, I don't know. I'm not feeling it anymore. Standards were changing on the radio station. Things were changing. They started giving us shorter talk times. In the era of when I was doing radio, this is how we used to do radio. Daddy Freeze and I, we were crazy on the radio. Like we would yap people. We had fun games. But I think there was a change. There was a dynamic. We have to play more music. Let's talk. And I started to struggle with it, especially with like interviews. I used to interview people, and people would come back and tell me I felt so at home. Or people would say, I would never have said that on the radio, but when I was on your show, I talked. And then we moved from that to when somebody comes in, because of the timing, I'll be like, okay, so Nicole, tell me about your new project. I want to write quickly. It just felt so unnatural to me.
Yeah.
And I started to struggle with that. My show was doing so well when I even quit. I remember in the year 2020, it was 2021 I quit. I remember early in the year, I'd written in my journal that if by mid-year, I don't feel like I'm not feeling it, I would quit. But I wrote it, like I used to journal very early in the morning, and I just wrote it, and I don't know that I really thought much about it. But towards the end of the year, because I quit in November, I remember just waking up and saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I had interviewed, I think the last person I interviewed was Adekunle Gold. And I didn't quite, it just didn't hit as I would have loved it to. Me and Adekunle were struggles. I was just like, so tell me, and I think Ladipo as well, one of the 2 of them, or I don't know. So I just woke up one day and said, I'm done here. By the way, I had no plans. I did not, nobody approached me to the, a lot of people thought, in fact, management said, it will pay you more. Did they say you should come and go? I just said, no, I'm done here. Didn't know what I was doing next. But I will tell you what, I was already an influencer. I was already making money on the side, but it wasn't really, I didn't really think much of it. I just said, I'm out. I remember my friend Fadi was like, you're out? Like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm done. Just put in my resignation. Try to have a few conversations. They tried to have a few conversations. I was like, I'm done. I don't know. There's something that I'm not just feeling. I just need to go. I don't know what to do, but I'm going to go.
Wow.
And I left.
Wow.
Yeah, I quit.
And so what was that? Like, tell me the morning after quitting.
I slept too. Because I would do like show preps. A lot of people think that radio, because we used to do my time belt, I started off doing like 3 to 8, then we moved to 3 to 6:30, 3 to 7. People think that you'll be so fun. You show up at 3. No. Bro, you start doing show prep in the morning that you have to send at a certain time. And then don't forget, I did radio for 11 years. I'm not talking about the same thing every day. So I'm stretching my mind to think of what is the cool thing to talk about on the radio today. How am I going to engage my audience? Kayla has woken up today. How is somebody going to laugh on the radio because I'm getting on there?
Right.
So so it was first thing first was for me to just relax.
Right.
I slept.
Wow.
I ate a lot. I felt very relieved and very free. But I also had a little grief with the fact that I wouldn't do this thing that I enjoyed doing. But the first things for me was just, let me just rest and just do other stuff.
Oh, I want to hear about the grief.
Yeah.
Because I think that's such an interesting word to use in relation to that. But it is a kind of grief.
Yeah,
right?
It is grief.
For me, like, when I left my job in Dubai, I was like free and all that kind of stuff. But my grief came later.
Yes.
It was like seeing my friends who I had actually helped get jobs in Dubai. And then seeing them still in the job, still thriving, having conversations that like I couldn't really relate to anymore.
Because
office
you're not
politics
there.
and stuff because I'm not there. And I just felt like, wow, like I really had something good. And it wasn't that it was bad. It wasn't that I was pushed out. I used my hand to close this door. Right? So
it's sort of that grief, Even sometimes I did think once or twice that did I make a wise decision leaving a radio? And it's true, the grief was not instantaneous. I was very happy to go. But I know, because I had such a pattern. I mean, I was there for 11 years. Even till today, like my muscle memory, I know you can't talk to me about that junction, junction that has Mobile. the Black Diamond from that junction, because that's where you turn to go into the road that takes you eventually to Etimian, where my office was. So there's a certain technique and skill that I had, because there's traffic lights, but I know how to. So I did that for freaking 11 years, and sometimes I'm just driving there and I'm like, okay, like you're going to
interesting.
Yeah. So, and just knowing that, and then you meet people. I've met people who just be like, oh, you really shaped my time on air, or this is what you used to do. People used to tell me that till today I change my sheets once a week because you used to tell us on Catwalk with Kayla. It's so fun. I miss that sometimes.
So you literally went into the wilderness.
I did.
You're literally in the wilderness. Oh, at first it's okay, and this is fun. I'm eating, I'm sleeping, I'm resting, I'm this.
And you have some money too, so you're like, I'm okay. You're spending money.
Exactly. When the money, one thing I learned is that money finishes.
But my money didn't finish. No matter how plenty it comes in. Money? Yeah, it is a true spirit. It's a wonderful spirit.
So take me through how you navigated this wilderness, and did you have any feelings of, because one thing I know that loves to come in the wilderness, especially when it's new, is anxiety. Is
mad anxiety.
What's next? That voice, those voices that's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. What have I done? Where will my next job come from? Where will my this? Did you have those kind of or not?
To be honest, I wasn't. Because my star sign also. I mean, I'm just flying. I'm Aquarius, and I'm just very easy breezy with life. I'm not really I'm not a deep thinker. I don't really overthink things. Some people think I'm very mean because of that, but it's true. I feel like I just go with the wave. This is what I'm into now. I've gotten myself into now. There were times that things were a bit slow, and I'll even tell you one crazy story. I joined Sporting Lagos. And I remember being at Sporting Lagos. It was completely different from, it's a local football club in Nigeria. They just started. My friend owns the club, and he's just like, I'm starting this project. Are you interested? So I came on board. And I remember, and I don't think he knows this, so it would be nice if he sees this, being on the team, and we had this, so obviously it's a new terrain for me. I'm used to going to work, clock in, do my thing, I'm out. I don't really have a lot of community, and also my personality too, I wasn't really active in anything. I just go do my radio show, I'm out. In fact, people knew me for that. I had a way, I would just go in and I'll come out. If they say, there is something away from, not interested, come and take this position. No. So I found myself in position to lead a department that I was giving. So I remember, let me tell you, I remember the first set of meetings we had, and it's so crazy that I'm going to say that we'll be in this meeting and the people will be talking in that meeting. All this, what is Zoom? I don't know what they use, all these tech people. They had different things. And I'll just hear anybody. So, I think that they will be blowing grammar left, right, and center. Me, I just used to go and do my radio show and go, or just say, me, I think that this thing we can do like this. Everybody's just there flexing, talking. I said, so Kayla, what are your thoughts? Thoughts. I remember putting off the mic and saying, I don't know what to say, because it was a terrain I wasn't familiar with. So I would be so anxious. And then when I put on the mic, I'm like, well, I would just kind of, wiggle my way out of it. And I remember there was a time that there was a decision we had to make, and they kept going back and forth, and somebody was just saying, I don't think this is a good decision, Kayla. Just kept going. And then my friend sent me a message and just like, Kayla, take space. There's a reason I thought you were great to be on this, because of your experience and all of these things. You're badass. Do you know who you are? If this is what you want us to do, say that this is what you want to do. And even if it doesn't work out, you take responsibility and I'll be accountable. That was a very big turning point in my life. So that, because I felt inadequate. I felt like, this is not really my space. I don't really know what I would say here. Yeah. So after then, I just felt a new sense of there was this little power that came, and I, so when I came, I like, we need to do this thing. They'd be like, I said, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And, and it was like, okay, Kayla, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And that was fun. So being on that, made me, it opened some things that I didn't know I had, some skills and some talents I didn't know I had, because I just thought I'm a creative. This is what I know how to do.
Yeah. I really like that. And I think like it's like two ways. So I think a lot of times when people are like contributing on calls, like, and you don't want to speak, like, because again, you're not taking up space.
Yes.
And so you just kind of like keep quiet and stuff. So that person giving you permission almost like reminded you like, I can.
That sent me a message like, what are you doing with that thing? You're thinking.
Exactly. And then there's another side of the coin that literally just happened to me yesterday, where I was on a call and somebody messaged me like, hey, I think that you should jump in.
Okay, wow.
Yesterday.
Oh, wow, you see?
But I did not jump in. It's a different situation, because I did not jump in because I didn't want to take space. I didn't jump in because... okay, I can't say what I wanted
I know what you see what I'm saying? Like when you're just in this position, like...
I didn't jump in because I don't give a fuck. I was on the call like, if y'all want to do rubbish...
I know that thing. Like, make we all the move ourselves here because
that's honestly the truth, right? But then also, aside from not giving, a hoot, right? It was also just feeling like I know the value that I bring, but I'm also not. If you don't see it, because I've seen so many, as a creative, I've been in so many like corporate structures and settings where you have people that are non-creative making very creative decisions, right? And so if you've hired me to be a consultant and you know my value, right? And then you're on a call chatting, I've told you ABC, you're chatting XYZ. I'm not going to come and be like, wait, no, it's ABC. I'm going to be like, go and do XYZ. Is my check coming? It is the payment that you're gonna pay me coming. If you want to do XYZ, continue.
Makes sense,
right? But then at the same time, I guess you have to have balance and you have to manage. So I actually did end up speaking, and I didn't. But if he didn't message me, I would have left it. I would have let it go, because it's like sometimes there are some battles that you just can't win. And like you can't force your creativity on people. So I really, really enjoy working with people who see the value. Do you understand? That you bring, and then they push you. So that person knows the value. He knows why he wants to take space, but
that was good. That's crazy that happened to you yesterday.
It did. So Sporting Lagos, and then that was your
that's like one thing that was completely different from what I would
you
normally
had done.
Do, and I did that. And then how I got on as an entrepreneur, I had done business before. I used to sell hair. But because of the influence that I had and being an influencer and working for brands, when I did sign on to a management right after I left radio, managed by my friend Fade, her company, the Fade Agency now, it used to be called Bookings Africa. I was the first talent that she took on. I was the first talent she took on, and it basically came from, it's so crazy, it basically came from, I was managing myself, and I would get all these emails, and people would just be pricing me and just doing stuff, and I got so frustrated at a point, because sometimes they would just like underprice me, or when I asked for my fee, they will even now say, oh, we can't, whatever. So Fade and I got so close, and one time I just told her, look at this project, look at this email that I got from these people. Like, these people are actually taking the mic. Like, who they think they want to pay this? So I'm not even going to do it. They do this all the time. She was like, but just tell them so. And I was like, Fade, the way you are saying it, can't you write it for me? And she was like, okay. I said, please now write it for me. Like, she was like, okay, tell them to. I said, write it now. So she said, okay. So one time she wrote for me and sent it to me, and I wrote back. And when they emailed back, the tone of the way they responded was different. And I said, Fade, it's giving no. So I was like, Fade, now come. Come and listen, let me add your email and tell them that my manager. So she was like, no, Kayla. Then she has just started Bookings Africa. She was booking talent, not taking talent. Right. So I was like, help me now. So she helped me. So I introduced her in the email and said, my manager is now a copy of this email. So Fade Ogunro, she went in there, hey, the email just they shake like the next thing. They said, we will not be something going forward. Fade said, even if you won't be going forward, Kayla would be able to do this. Before I knew what was happening, Forex was changing hands.
Wow.
I said, Fade, they paid me in dollars, in euros. I said, Fade, please come on, Fade said, I can't. I'm doing this. I said, okay, consider it. He said, okay, give me a couple of months to think about it, because I said, Fade, you can be just represent me. So she said, okay. So I gave it a few months, and Fade said, okay, I would take it on, but you have to. And I've been managed a few times, but I'd always had issues with people managing me because they don't get it. For example, I'm a top boy-ish, and I like baggy clothes. Then I'm in the industry, they're saying is when you wear tight clothes, I feel like you trend, and I'm like, I don't want to wear it. They also used to just knock it, or you have to be jumping and dancing. I don't want to freaking dance. I just want to talk, But Fade got it. She knew, so I just told her, this is what I want you to do. So she said, okay, no problem. But that was even the beginning of the war, because she said, you have to feel, let me onboard you. And Fade sent me one form. So when she sent the form, I just looked at it, said, okay, I'll send it to you by COB, close of business. And I went about my business. So in the middle of the night, I woke up, I said, this Fade's form said, let me even fill it. I did fill this form, this form. Asking me questions in it. Why do you do the things you do? I just want to freaking make money. So I filled this form, but that form opened my mind into like, where do I want to see myself? What is it I want for my brand? Who are the people that I look up to? Who are the people that I'm inspired by? I'm just thinking, this is so, for me, that was just like a green flag. Like, wow, a manager that thinks like this. So I filled the form. I took like 3 days to fill the form. Eventually sent it in, and she started managing me.
Wow. And that's for her to get a full breath of who you are.
I am.
That is so, wow. That is so, because I've had 3 managers, right?
Yeah.
And
did you experience that?
No. So my first managers were great managers, but it was the management deal was a bit different from a normal management deal. So it was with Wale Davis and Fumbi.
Show Them Come.
Yes, and Fatherland.
Yes.
Yeah. So the management was for deals.
Okay.
So if I have a deal on the table, they'll manage the thing. It wasn't managing, like nurturing my creativity and my brand and figuring out what I want in life. It wasn't that kind of management deal. So that was good for the time. And then when I then realized that I had a particular, I think it was when I started working with Global Citizen. And I remember particularly just, so that year it was Global Citizen Accra. Right? And that year I was doing Global Citizen as the writer of the show. And Thames was doing Global Citizen as like talent, right? And I remember like them coming for like a rehearsal. And then I had told people like, oh, my manager's coming, which is Wale, right? And he obviously came for Thames and they did her rehearsal and then they left and I didn't see him. And I just remember feeling so like, what? I know I'm not Thames, but I need my manager, right? So we ended up having a really like grown up conversation where I realized that like at that stage, I actually needed more nurturing. I needed somebody to check in with me. I needed somebody to make sure like I was being treated well. Like, is my hotel good? Did they do the things they were supposed to do? And they couldn't do that for me. That wasn't the deal. They weren't supposed to be doing that for me. And so we had a conversation. I'm like, you need management that sees you in entirety. And so that led me to my second manager, which her name is Kaylah Oniwo. And she just like, she's a force, like in terms of like just her vision in general for creatives.
It's like,
in Nigeria, like
don't play with them.
Don't play with them. Like I'm here. She has like experience. She lived in LA, lived in London, so she knows how to speak through like global spaces and stuff like that.
That's a good thing.
So Kim, honestly, like she showed me what a manager should be in terms of that kind of like speaking life. Last year, literally,
because there's been a lot of changes.
Yes. So a year ago, right? A year and a half ago, I think.
There's been a lot of changes, ladies and gentlemen.
What are the changes?
Girl, don't play with this woman. Don't just show up saying, now I know.
So the thing is, so with Kim, technically Kim is still my manager, technically, but not, she's been back in LA. She's not in Nigeria at the moment because she was in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So, but then I think since then, like, and I think as creatives, we grow and we change and there's seasons, right? So I think now at this stage in my life presently, I need a manager who like fully understands what I'm doing on ground.
Yes.
I don't really want you to send me, unless you're sending me like things fall apart. I'm putting that out into the universe. I really want to be part of that writer's room because I'm Igbo and I love things fall apart and I can bring context that a lot of these global writers can't bring. But anyway, unless you're bringing me things fall apart or like an Idris Elba project that is like, you know, I'm not really interested in Hollywood facing projects. I'm interested in Nigerian authentic projects that can transcend globally.
Love that.
But I'm not interested
and that's okay.
Yeah, I'm just not. Yeah. Like the goal is not to be in a Hollywood writer's room. That's not the goal. The goal is to nurture my creativity and the writers here and create an authentic, you know, story that is representative of us, you know? Like when I look at how we chill, like how we talk, like yesterday I had the funniest conversation with one of my friends, Cynthia, the most realist conversations about just dating and men and stuff like that. And I was just like, I don't see this on TV.
Yes, we want to
like
be
I don't, we don't tell the stories as we are. I think we tell stories as we think we should be. But we're not like real. So I think like that comes like you have to be on
I can't wait to see something like that come out of real, like even dating series or that really is truly representative of what we really face.
And I think just back to the management thing. I think as creatives, one lesson I've learned from your story is like identifying, sometimes you identify the manager.
Yes.
Like you say, you can manage me. Do you understand? Because now what you did is like Fade now manages 6 people?
Yes.
Or something?
Yes, and it was not in her. Nope, she didn't ever think that. Yes.
So you saw something in her.
Yes.
And then you nurtured that.
Girl.
Yeah.
Please pass me flowers over there.
You nurtured that.
Flowers. Okay.
Yeah, you nurtured that.
Yeah.
And that in turn brought out something bigger in her that was always inside of her.
Yes.
But she might just not have ever gone down that route, right? So I think that's very, very interesting. And that idea of like give and take as well, because I think people just always want, you think you're meant to take. You also have to nurture that person. Like I know how many times I've spoken life into my manager.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Because she's also building something
for herself.
She's also doing something. So it's not all about you. It's about like how are you guys growing together?
Especially when the person actually sees the vision and the person understands.
Exactly.
Automatically you're also rooting for them as well. You know, you're aligned.
Yeah. And that practice of like, and I think I want to redo mine because it changes so much. But figuring out like what you want from your life.
It's really good.
What you want from your creative career.
Yes. You have to really sit down. It's hard.
It's hard. It's
hard. I normally have to do it like in the 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning. You sit. It's so annoying. You have to ask those questions. You have to look back and then start Googling and start thinking, then you, even if you keep it, you come back to it. The form I filled at the beginning of this year, it took me almost 6 weeks.
Right.
To deliver.
Wow.
I was so frustrated.
Wow.
Asking questions. I would say, why are you asking me these damn questions? But I had to answer them because Fade would not, you can't submit it. You need to complete it. And it just, allows you to just know where
I love that. I love that. Because if you don't know where you're going, you're literally going to go anywhere.
You're just going
in different, you know? Yeah. Very, very cool. Yeah. I want to know a little bit about KO by Kayla.
Yeah.
So like for me, so one day I came to Kayla's house and I always see her on Instagram like making candles and stuff, but then seeing it in real life, she has this whole candle room and it's the most beautifully smelling, amazing room, just full of candles. But like, I think what surprised me was like that you're literally there doing it yourself. They are hand made,
handmade,
and hand
everything.
poured, and
Oils mixed, everything.
So she has all the oil, she has all the this, and then she has all the stickers, and she puts the stickers, and you have to make sure when you put the stickers that it doesn't have those little bubbles.
No,
and you have to smooth it really well.
Students. Look at you.
Oh, I really enjoy
it. You remembered.
No, but that's actually one of my best, I think, home experiences.
Oh, thank you.
Like, just in general.
You did a great job.
Thank you. But like, how did you even like say, okay, first of all, I'm going to become an entrepreneur and I'm going to start my own brand.
Yeah.
Like, how did that
It's crazy story. And again, I feel like all my life, everything that has happened to me has always started from the negative and then becomes absolutely positive. Ooh. There's always, I think now that I think about it, it's always somebody hitting my head or doing me dirty that then transcends into this. And most times it's people telling me these stories back, then I realize that that's what the journey was. When I was obviously doing influencing, working with a lot of brands, one of the strategies that we had with my team in 2023 was, okay, now you've really done a lot for people. Why don't you do your own thing and sort of like, but don't do it in the sense of, I know, Kayla, you're creative, you don't want to settle down in one place. How about you do collaborations? What are the things that you absolutely love? Again, back to what I was saying with Fade in that form, asking you all these deep questions. We're going to start with the things that you really love, and then we find people that we can collaborate with, and then we turn it into a collaboration. You make money, they make money, everybody goes on their way. We pick on the next thing that you love and collaborate, and maybe eventually you find something that you like. So I was like, oh, that's brilliant. I love white shirts. I love scents. I love fragrances. Everybody knows, if you followed me in my early times, Snapchat, I'm waking up, I'm lighting one wood. I'm always, I scented candles, all of these things. My home needs to smell great. So the first thing we did was we did a collaboration with a local brand, and I'm such a pro buy Nigerian, wear Nigerian, African, here, groom up locals. I'm one of those people. I champion it. African fashion, anything that has to do with made in Nigeria. I'm wearing orange culture.
Lovely.
Hi, Bayo. So we started with white shirts. So we had a collaboration with this company, and we made white shirts, and it was a success. People, made them, sold them. So the next thing was like, okay, you like fragrance. So we partnered with a company who was private labeling for me. Okay. But I chose the scents, and we started this business. But it was becoming very rocky. This person was just making life so difficult for me, delaying on orders, not answering messages. And quite frankly, I didn't know people would buy my stuff. And I was scared because, and I like this podcast, let's be vulnerable, honest. I wasn't sure if I was going to sell. I've sold for people, but I didn't know if I was going to sell for myself. So when we were doing when we were negotiating, I said, I'm afraid to say, make me 500 candles. I don't know if it's only me and my candles that will be looking. So please, can we do it small in batches? And I think that was even what made it even difficult, because I would say, okay, let's do 24 first. Then I now saw that the 24 sold. Oh yeah, please, I want another 15. So that's how we were doing it. But she was making it so frustrating. So Fade was out there, my team, but I'm a creative and I lead what I do. Like I'm very involved in what I do. So at the back of my mind, I was just like, this woman is making things a bit difficult. Okay, maybe what can I do? I'm thinking of the solution. Do I bring because she was also bringing the packages. I said, so do I buy my packaging and tell her, okay, I have 12, I want to do 14 jars. Oh yeah, take 14 jars, put my product inside and let me go and sell my thing. So in doing that, I was doing that on the side while all of this heat was going on. But I would like to say that I didn't even realize how loved I was, because I had taken pre-orders. People's money was in my hand and I wasn't delivering, and nobody was calling me. And I'm surprised nobody even called me and blasted me. Everybody was just like, whenever it's ready, let me know. But me, I was there killing myself. So eventually I got a company another private labeling company that I had even spoken to. I didn't even tell Fade about it. I just spoke to them and said, would you like to do it? And the lady was like, yes, I'm happy to do it, so that I can disengage that other person and start. So in doing that, and I said, okay, but because of my experience with this other woman, what I'm going to do is that let me go and find my packaging. So when I'm engaging this new woman, I say, look, I have this, I'll be giving it to you, you'll be doing it. In doing that, I now went to start looking for a company for the packaging. So I went with my PA, she's passed away now, maybe rest her soul. I love her so much. So we went on this journey very early in the morning to the mainland, looking for shops. We now found this shop. I went there again, back to the audacious Kayla. I said, this big company, I don't even know what I'm even doing. I don't make this thing. Somebody is making it for me. What do I even know that I want to buy? So I then went in there and I said, I want to see your boss. And they said, is she expecting? I said, no, but there's some questions I need to ask for, but what do you want to buy? Everything. I said, I don't know. I want to meet your boss. So they called her and she was like, I'm not available. So after waiting for her we waited for her the whole day. She went, I think she kept calling like, have they gone? No, they are still there. I didn't go anywhere. I sat down, the people were going in and coming out. Because I said, what am I buying here? So she eventually came. And I said, can I see you? And introduced myself to her. I told her exactly what happened with the other lady. And and I'm even already talking to somebody who is going to help me with my packaging. And she said, okay. When she listened to me, guess what she said to me? She said, I can't sell anything to you, dear. The only way you can excel in your business is you have to know the business. You have to go and train and start the business. I said, no, ma. I'm not really trying to be a channeler. I'm just channeling, making candles, I'm not trying to do any of this. I'm not doing that. I have so many things I'm doing. I have projects. I'm not, just sell this thing to me. Let me know. She said, no, ma. I'm not selling to you. Go and train. Go and learn. Because let me tell you, this other lady is going to also mess you up. You have no quality. You have no control over quality of what you're just buying this. You don't even know what is inside. I said, I don't want to. We drag this thing. She said, my business still stands. I will sell, but I won't sell to you. When you have done training, come back. I will sell all these products to you. That hit me hard. I said, okay, where am I going to train? Who is going to do it? She said, I can offer you. I know someone that is good. I'll send you to that person. So she sent me to the person. I don't even know how my life turned from that to going to take courses and learning how to make candles, diffusers. I found out how to make these things, and I happened to train with somebody who came from a family of doctors who gave me an insight into what candle making and diffuser making, like the hazards and all of these things, and why it's important for me to be ethical about my business. So I got beyond just training, because the people offering these classes, what she said, telling me like toxic, non-toxic, low toxic, thinking, is it not just to pour the oil and make? No. So that was how I started doing it. And she told me, after you train, you have access to me. I have access to me 3 times. And after that, you have to sink and drown and then come up and find your way. This thing was just like film trick. And guess what? The worst of all, she was relocating with her husband. She's left Nigeria, doesn't live here anymore. So I started practicing, doing this thing, called her a few times. The candle, she said, hey, figure it out. I figured it out. I remember even making like bad batches and everything. And that's how I started the business.
Wow.
That's how I started Kayla by Kayla and became a full-grown business.
Wow. So someone on social media had a question. They're going through their own creative journey. And so the question is for both of us. Okay, so I'm going to read it out.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm struggling with the weight of reinvention. I left a stable career to pursue my passion, but now I'm stuck between who I was and who I'm trying to become. The financial instability keeps me up at night, and some days I feel like I'm losing myself in the process.
Ooh, that kind of sounds like me. I've been there. Yeah.
Do you want to go? Do you want to...
I feel, how did I get out of that? First of all, honestly, you want me to be very honest? I took to therapy, and I'm going to share this for free. What my therapist told me was, sometimes when things like that happen, that part of you is done. It's time to forge a new path.
Wow.
Because I kept fighting that. Why am I not able to still thrive in that space that I was winning? But she was like, it's done.
Whoa.
So what is happening is that there's something that's trying to come out, but you're stifling it with what you're going back.
Get it back.
So she told me to go further and think about, and go inward and think about what I really want to do, how I want to represent myself and everything. And there's a way I have conversations now, and there's a way my mind works now that has been birthed by that that introspection that I had to do, and now my conversations are changing, and the way that I'm sharing content has changed from what people know me for.
Right.
So she could go and think about what does she really. If she's struggling so much, because I was struggling so much, I just couldn't get to do it. No matter how I tried.
Right.
So it's just done. You've excelled and you've killed it.
Right.
It's time for something new.
It's time for something new. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. I'm going to take that.
How would you advance
So
that?
for me, what came to mind was a scripture. It's actually the only scriptures tattooed on me, which is Luke 12,
Let me see.
24.
Oh, okay.
And it's, do you not see the ravens in the sky?
Oh, I live by that. That's my mantra.
They
Oh my
neither
gosh.
sow nor reap. Yeah. God feeds them.
Oh, that's what I live by.
Are you not more valuable than the birds?
That's literally my, oh my gosh. I just don't know how to say it like this, but that's it.
So for me, every time I see a bird in the sky, I think of Luke 12:24. And I think these birds haven't done nothing.
I feel like jumping. This is literally me taking my walks in the morning and looking at all those birds.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at these ones. They just open their mouth. Wow.
And God feeds them.
This is so crazy.
So for me,
that's your response?
when there's money not coming in, which is a lot. I know, like somebody wrote something. I posted something on Instagram recently and somebody wrote lifestyle. And I commented fake life.
I know that's right. Because sometimes
forget about it. You know what I mean?
My sister will say it's a drought season.
It's like sometimes it's a drought season. You're not getting alerts. You're not getting whatever. You can take pretty pictures. It doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at the same time, like people don't see that. You see this glossy thing and you think, oh, this person is chilling. They lie. Do you know what I mean? And so I think what keeps me grounded, what keeps me the anxiety at bay is that trust in God that He will always feed me. He will always feed me. Honestly, no matter what.
High five. That's how I live.
Yeah.
I don't care for anything, man.
Nothing.
I don't care for nothing.
Yeah.
He always comes through.
He always comes through. So to this person, like that trust, like God will always come through for you. And then take that and then use her therapist's advice.
That's what I wanted to say. She should marry both.
Marry both. Marry both and you're
really my friend because you're just saying the right things.
And they're solid. Okay, so we have this thing called the Wilderness Toolkit.
Yeah.
So all lone wolves are in the wilderness, right? And we're always there, but there's highs, there's lows, and there's obstacles, there's blocks, there's challenges, there's valleys. And so with people like us who are successfully navigating our journey, we haven't reached the peak. There is no peak.
There's no peak, my dear. We are just going and enjoying the journey, getting the bumps and getting out of it, and also getting the wins. Yeah.
Exactly. But if we were to create some kind of wilderness toolkit for the ones that are about to leave the pack, for the ones that have just entered the wilderness, that, you know, are looking for some kind of light, you know, what would you add to this toolkit, which we ask all of our guests?
I will add this word. It's a quote. It was even attached to my email. I don't know if it's still there for a long time because that's sort of what has helped me in my life. And I still use it till this day. It says, never focus on the closed doors because you might just miss the one that's open for you. So you're still looking at the closed doors.
Right.
So for me, every time a door is closed, I just say, I try to see, was there something there what's it trying to tell me? What's this closed door trying to tell me? And I tell you what, it always works. Door is shut. This door is shut. This door is shut. Why? It means that there's something that you need to figure out, you know? So always take out time. Take out time for yourself. Have times for yourself. It's good to talk to people. It's good to seek advice here, there, everywhere. But sometimes the best conversations are had with yourself.
Yes.
Because it's almost like Michael Jackson said, the man in the mirror. It's the only person that can tell you. Like, you know, this when you're alone, you're the one that knows everything though. Exactly. There. So you're like, okay, I need to work on this, or I need to do this, or I need to get up. You know? Talk to yourself you're talking to yourself. I talk to myself, I think, you know, loudly. Like, get up, Kayla. What are you doing? Get up. Or rest. Put it down. Shut down. You know, rest. It's okay.
Yes.
You know, the world will be okay. Go rest. Take 3 days off. Rest. It's okay. Don't worry what anybody is saying outside. Something I want to write about. I have a friend who used to say, sleep is for the weak. That's his quote. And he's so hardworking. And I used to be so intimidated. But I'm like, sleep is not for the weak. I want to rest. It's for the strong. Change narratives. Put that in the toolbox. You can change it.
100%. In the Bible, it says... something like, I'm going to paraphrase, but something like, you have to strive for rest. Like, it's hard to rest.
Yes.
You have to fight for it. You know, you have to strive to rest.
It's not for the weak.
Yeah.
If you need to sleep, sleep.
Right.
I do 8-9 hours of sleep, and I'm chasing bread every day, but I must sleep.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Love that.
Yeah.
Kayla, thank you so much for coming on the pod. My fellow lone wolf.
I like it too.
Can you do the ow? Like a wolf.
I don't know.
Like how, like a wolf? I don't know. I can't really do it. Let's try.
I can't do it now. It's like, ow. No,
that was so bad.
I'm going to be a meme.
Do it again. Oh, no, that was so bad.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys help us out. Somebody howl like a wolf. None of you? None of you are lone wolves? No.
Is that a fox? It's a wolf. That's
It's
a wolf.
giving fox.
It's giving
Anyway,
fox.
We're gonna cut this out because how could the lone wolf not know how to howl? Somebody yesterday messaged me and he was like, he said something woof woof. I was like, that's a dog. And then he goes roar. I was like, that's a lion. Then he was like, what do wolves do? I was like, they howl. He was like, okay, send me a voice note howling. I was like, chill.
Nah, you're doing too much.
Relax, I'm outside. I can't just start howling in public. Anyway, thank you for coming on the pod. Love you.
Yay, love you too.
Yay. Guys, listen, let's be real. You spend all your time, a lot of your time watching podcasts that don't feed your soul. This is a podcast that you get free life advice. You get to hear from people who have been on the journey and they're literally giving you gems on how to not make the same mistakes or how to forgive yourself when you make those mistakes and how to really move forward. So this is zero effort. All you have to do is subscribe. Literally, you don't have to get off your couch. You don't have to open your phone. You don't have to go on one random link. Just literally move your body, move your hand. There you go. It's almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Boom. Done. You see how easy that was? Yeah. You're a lone wolf. I can feel it. I see it.